Yeah, Star here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on road to Kharkov. Playing today, spawning in the north. It's me. Playing Zos there, and straight away locking in defensive. Gonna go for an Ostroupen strategy. In the south, I'm facing off against Patient as the Soviets, who has gone for armored assault. Straight away locking that in as well, so we can get the radio intercept. So I've been playing a defensive strategy for a while, just trying to like hone it. Refine a little bit before making a video, trying to find a good replay. This one was like pretty good, so I figured I'd bring it in, make a cast of it. Though if I do find a better replay, I will play it again. But yeah, defensive of course got revamped, and Ostroupen got added to the commander, so kind of like an alternative commander if you want to go for Ostroupen start. So that's what you do. General strategy here is go for 3 Ostroupen with the MG, then go for a really fast tier 2 tech into fast light vehicles. It's basically what Ostroupen strategies are about. You get to miss that first little bit of tech from building tier 1, get fast field presence from the Ostroupen, so you should have a good strong early resources leading to fast light vehicles. Ostroupen of course not very strong in terms of combat, especially in the late game. So I mean in the late game they're not too bad though, because you know they are 6-man, quite durable, can just stay alive. So Patient here, perhaps reading the fact that I've gone for Ostroupen with the radio intercept, goes for an M3 because I don't have access to Faust quite yet. I do have my tech starting now, but yeah, I'm powerless against this kind of M3 scout car play, because no Faust on Ostroupen until you either have tier 1 or tier 2 built, which obviously I have neither. Getting right on top of that cutoff. More than Kharkov, every player's worst nightmare. So I was going for my resource, so I'm like, oh well, I'll just go for his, at the same time go for his cutoff over here. Might as well. I mean, basically any time they're spending with this M3 capping rather than fighting my squads is to my benefit, I feel. But yeah, this is not ideal, certainly, and it's going to slow down my tech and my progress towards a light vehicle. So at this stage, if something like this has happened to you and you've got off to a bad start, probably need to consider getting another squad. You might want to go for a machine gun if you're having trouble dealing with infantry, another squad of Ostroupen if you're just needing a bit more of a meat shield, or even another squad of pioneers if you just need a squad to be around to build your tech, because at some stage in the game you're going to need a second squad of pioneers anyway, so they're a pretty safe option to go for. So yeah, I think pioneers are probably the safest option, but machine gun, and machine gun is the most powerful against infantry if that's what's causing you the problems. So yeah, tech gone down just a little bit too late for me to try and get a Faust on that M3. I probably would lose the squad if I tried to go for it. So I decided against it. Machine gun's covering the cutoff because I'm expecting the M3 to come back through this area at some stage, and then machine gun's going to have some good damage on it. Double Faust there, and my squad just gets away, so lucky escape. But as I mentioned, if I stuck around, I would have lost to that M3, lost my squad. I did go for a pack right now, but I probably don't need that, since the M3 is dead now. Maybe I can't remember exactly, but maybe I queued that up before the M3 died. Either way, I'm going to need a pack for a T70, so it's not that big of a problem, but at this stage I could go for a squad of Panzer Grenadiers instead. I do recommend going for Panzergrenadiers with this strategy. They just stop squads running right on top of your team weapons and killing them. So generally you want your Panzergrenadiers to be like supporting your team weapons, making sure if they do get flanked, the impacts from those flanks are not too devastating. So 222 in production here. You can go for a flamer half track, and it's pretty strong. I found like I was a little bit behind now. If I try to go for flame half track into 222, it'll be too slow. T70 will hit the field too early, and won't be able to keep the flamer half track alive. So I'm just going for the 222. It's safer. Like combining with the pack, should be able to fight off the incoming T70, which I'm expecting to be quite quick because of how strong his star's been thanks to the M3. But apparently it is not. Yeah, took out his combat engineer there. He's gone for a sniper as well, instead of trying to put his tech down. Now I'm getting on top of his cutoff again, so it's going to slow down his T70 a good chunk.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Panzergrenadiers now. This is around the timing that you want to get your Panzergrenadiers. So it's up to you, based on how you feel the game's going, whether you want to go for double light vehicles or not. It is quite strong going for both a flamer, half track, and a 222. It's definitely a viable option. But, you know, as I said, I felt like my start wasn't that strong, didn't really have the fuel to spare, so I didn't want to risk it.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
No mid-base yet, which is unfortunate. That was bad play from me. Can't really run into heavy cover like that. The 2-2 shots will just collide with heavy cover and you'll do friendly fire. I'm a little worried here that maybe a PTRS package is being upgraded and it'll pop. But I decided, damn it all. Just get in there and get the damage done. So yeah, I'm getting on top of his cutoff pretty effectively here, which is nice. His late sniper decision really hasn't paid off for him yet. 222 is keeping it honest. Bunker finally goes down. So once you've gone for this kind of strategy, it's kind of early game. Generally what I try to do is get fast battle phase 3 tech. What that allows you to do is get the LMG upgrade on your Osttroopen, which is really helpful because Osttroopen don't scale very well into the late game without them. So as soon as you're fighting like riflemen with bars, or just basically any squad with a weapon upgrade, or even, you know, just fighting penals is quite tough. Especially once they get their high levels of veterancy, you know, they got some very strong veterancy bonuses. It's a real struggle with the Osttroopen, so you do need the LMGs to stop the Osttroopen just getting steamrolled on top of. And that also, of course, unlocks some strong late game light vehicles from tier 4, both the Panther and the Brumbier, as well as the Panzerwerfer. So, depending on how the game's going, will depend on whether you go for the Stuggy or not. If it's like a close match, or maybe you're a little bit behind, and it's also quite a violent match, definitely go for the Stuggy. But if you're, you know, level peggings or ahead, if you had a good fuel control, then you should just straight tech and forget about the Stuggy. Struggy's like pretty medium, I think, in terms of strength. I feel like 7 command points is maybe just like slightly too high for it at the moment. So if it was at 6 CPs, I think I would use it a lot more often, but at 7 CPs, yeah, I think it's not that common to see. You can, if you are like really in big trouble, go for like a double Struggy strategy, because as I mentioned, the Osttrooper are not that powerful, and if you are struggling to tick up, if you really just need like the anti-infantry right then and there, Struggy, if you get double Struggies, it's like pretty good as anti-infantry, and then you can also get double packs, so then you've got your anti-infantry and your anti-tank handled. One of the strengths of the Struggy is that it has 50 range, so good long range, even though its damage is pretty bad. 50 range, which is really nice. So slightly late on the retreat here, but 222 is nearby to stop the T-70 from chasing too aggressively. Doesn't matter, gets wiped anyway. It's one of the real strengths of Osttrooper, and you can kind of just charge them recklessly forwards into the T-70 or similar. Don't have to worry about the manpower bleed too much, because this is so cheap. Missing the follow-up shot there is a little bit unfortunate. It means you can be a little bit more aggressive with this T-70. So there's one more shot to work with. Straight away replace that squad Osttroop in there. Just because I'm at a delicate stage here, T-70 is on the field.
We are losing territory.
And I need to have squads with Fausts. As well as the fact, like, Osttroop are generally, like, pretty reasonable against snipers because... Nice grenade there. Because they're so cheap to reinforce. You don't have to worry about snipers picking them off. Very little manpower bleed caused, which is why I was very confused why I went for snipers in the first place, honestly. Didn't really make much sense to me. So yeah, finally hit battle phase 3 and starting to get those LMGs cooking. Going for a second squad of engineers now. I have been a little bit
Engineers ready for assignment.
in trouble in terms of repairs. Also can just help me get some some tech down. Going for a second sniper here, and he is just kind of a little bit crazy. But another aspect is actually okay because typically an RC player will be going for a tier 3 strategy, which means the medium tanks will be hitting the field at timing quite close to now. But because he's got the radio intercept, he can hear that I'm going for a tier 4 strategy. And so my medium tank's actually going to be quite slow, so there is actually like a decent... Yeah, he just forgot about his flamethrower there. There's actually a pretty decent chance for his snipers to get some damage done before I actually get any of my vehicles, especially if he can continue to cut me off. But yeah, as I said, I don't think snipers are a particularly good idea against Osttroopers, so I'm a little bit confused why he's gone for that. But yeah, here we are at Struggy timing 7 CPs. So I could get one now, but this is after I've teched, like I'm already at tier 4. Like 50 fuel away, or less than that, 40 fuel away from a Brumby. You can see how late timing on the Struggy is. This has been like not a super violent game, but also not a completely passive game either, so as I said, 7 CPs I think is just slightly too late for the Struggy, but there have been games where I use it for sure. And yeah, I do think it bears mentioning using double Struggies is quite effective. Somehow Faust didn't go off there. Definitely meant to activate it. So I'm just picking away at this squad. So snipers are definitely racking up some kills. Luckily they're only on Ostrupen. Patient here side ticking and building a ZIS. Now that is one thing that I have found quite hard to deal with this strategy. Typically if I'm in a good position I go for a Brumbier first. If my opponent has double anti-tank guns, I actually find it quite tricky to deal with usually. With the Brumbier, you know, to get its armor nerf. And unlike in 2v2s, it's quite often very hard for you to afford a Panzerwerfer in 1v1s. And even if you do afford it, you have much more opportunities in a 1v1 for it to get killed, like chased down in your base or knocked out. So it's definitely trickier, I would say, to avoid the double packs. I was trying to do a cheeky play there, try to throw a grenade, hoping to dodge back into it, but didn't work out. Going in for my P-Greens. Bring squads around multiple sides. This one around this one around here. Whilst T-70 chasing down. Catch it with the Faust. T-70 goes down. So we got my P-Greens, but I get his T-70 in return. So it's a reasonable trade, I feel. We're hitting the field now. During all that I was having a bit of micro issues, leaving my pack slightly too far forwards. And it's now in pretty grave danger here. But here comes the Brumbier. It's a good hit in. Let's have a ZIS though. It's in a pretty reasonable position here as well. So I'm still in a pretty advantageous position, but thing is he doesn't need to tick to tier 4. He can just go for a call and tank. So despite me having a pretty big advantage at this stage, all he has to do is hold on and he can call in the IS-2. He doesn't have to worry about ticking to tier 4. It's quite interesting, you know, like the game's gone through so many stages of balance. And used to be like heavy tanks would come in a lot earlier. There's call-ins. Well, yeah, the command point system got a lot of revisions. It used to be, you know, you'd just, as Soviets, you'd tick tier 1, tier 2, straight into IS-2. And that got nerfed a little bit. And then, oh, action happening. Snipers over here. One of them goes down to the 222 Brumbier, trying to take on the ZIS frontally. Su-76 coming in at just the right timing though for Patient. Slightly overextend my Brumbier here. He resets up the ZIS, slight mistake from him. Down goes the 222. All my squads retreat and Su-76 actually getting aggressive here. Trying to knock out my Brumbier. Bring the squad over here for a Faust, but I missed the timing. Too busy trying to micro my Brumbier away. Now I'm trying to back it away, but he's on the chase. If I actually recruit my pack, that was definitely a mistake from me. Time for a little bit of ring around the rosy here.
300 points stand between us and defeat.
Hoping that my Brumbier will land a shot on it. Coming forward, chasing for the Faust. It's a slight micro mistake there with his SU-76. Its rotation. And that allows my Brumbier to get away, but this was an extremely close call. This was landing basically like all its shots on the frontal armor. The Brumbier.
We are suffering vehicle losses.
And now my pack secured the kill on the SU-76, but gets decrewed by all the stuff on my cutoff. I drop the sector artillery. I've had mixed results with this, honestly. I don't think it's that effective. Got made quite a lot better. Because now I can target like multiple sectors. I can target the sector you do it in and adjacent sectors, but still only friendly territory, and if your opponent neutralizes the spot, it will no longer be active.
We are losing territory.
So I was feeling quite desperate here and went for the Stuggy because of that. Perhaps this was a mistake, however. But I kind of just was so desperate, worried about losing my Brumbier. I thought, we'll get this. Maybe I'll be able to catch my pack as it retreats, but fortunately he stole that away.
Machine gun team prepared for combat.
But yeah, overall I feel like this was a mistake getting the Stuggy. I mean, yeah, so... And as you can see, Patient's actually going to get his IS-2 before I get my Panther. So here you can see the Stuggy. You can see the long range it has. As I mentioned, that's the real strength of the Stuggy. It's 50 range. Really nice range on it. Same range as the regular Stug has. That's good. It's a real strength, and as I mentioned, get two of them, because one of them by itself I feel is not very good.
Supply sector under attack.
So I'm having to rebuild my pack here. Yeah, I'm still about 100 fuel away from the Panther. So that Stuggy was really a costly decision. Playing my Panther by 2 or 3 minutes. It's really bad. Other features of this commander, it's got defensive fortifications. It allows your Osttrooper to build sandbags and whatnot, and that's really helpful. Especially when they have the LNG upgrades, being able to stand behind heavy cover all the time is really nice. It does come in 2 CPs, I think, so you can't build sandbags right from the jump like you can with a lot of other squads, but it is still a very nice function. But yeah, now he's got the double anti-tank guns. It's a real headache for my Brumbier. That was such a costly loss. Stuggy trying to come in from the side away from the double anti-tank guns. You see the long range on it there. It's got great range. Squad coming forward, providing the vision.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
But yeah, you can see the damage. Not incredible. Meanwhile, Patient very close to the IS-2 now. So some Panzer Grenadiers coming in on the flank, hoping to kill some of these AT guns, but the 3 conscripts are too strong for P-Greens here. Good grenade though, no dodge from him. Probably saved my life if I didn't throw that grenade. Even with a quicker retreat time, I probably would have lost the squad there. So So yeah, now he's got the IS-2 coming in, supported by the double packs. And this, as I mentioned, is very hard for me to deal with. Because the Bombardiers are not as sturdy as it used to be. And I don't have a Panther to fight the IS-2. Basically just relying on this one pack. So when you're in a scenario like this, your positioning is very, very important. The pack just cannot afford to be caught out of position. Otherwise the IS-2 could just run right on top of it and knock it out. Speaking of, here comes the IS-2 in from the side. Pack facing up. Calls in the R2 strafes. Pack bounces there. Brumby's having a few hardened issues, and down it goes. Frontally penetrated by these anti-tank guns. So now I am in all types of shit. I call in the artillery to try and buy myself a bit of breathing room while his units push forwards. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite do enough damage to these advancing troops. A couple shots land on the IS-2 though, get a decent amount of damage on that. Backed away out of the arc, but missing at close rounds. Now my pack's gonna go down. There we go. Now the sector artillery is starting to do some damage. But yeah, pack gets decrewed over there. Finally have enough for the Panther, so I can build that now, but losing another pack. Really bad. Luckily he backs his IS-2 away a little bit too far here. I managed to recrew it. If he kept his IS-2 guarding over this, I would have lost it. That was a bit of a blunder from him. But yeah, my pack was, you know, I think it was in a reasonable position, but perhaps I should have had it facing this direction because I did see his IS-2 shooting at my Ostroop in there. And if that had happened, maybe I would have been able to get a shot on it earlier. Maybe would have been able to get a Faust on it and got damaged engine, but because the first shot bounced or missed or whatever, didn't get the damage on this early enough to get engine damage from a Faust. So that was really bad. Yeah, my Brumbier just got caught on the trees trying to spin around, and then frontally double packs knocked it out with the IS-2 combining. And the skill planes still just causing havoc. So that was very challenging for me to deal with. He is though stuck on tier 3 right now unless he wanted to tech. He doesn't. He's going to go for a T70 to try and help with map control. Most likely he's going to try use this on the flanks wherever my Panther is not, to help control infantry on that side. Obviously I need to use my pack and my Panther combining to try and deal with the IS-2 because it's very strong. I actually feel like that's maybe a little bit of a problem in 1v1s these days, is that, you know, Vet 0 versus Vet 0, the Panther and the IS-2, it's like a reasonable fight. And considering you have to pay for tech and whatnot to get to the Panther, and then it can't fight infantry nearly as well. Here he goes, he's getting aggressive right into my base. There's no respect, perhaps trying to force me into a compromised position as I try and rotate around to deal with this fight. But yeah, Vet 0, you know, IS-2 versus Panther, pretty even fight, but then when it comes to Vet 2, you know, the IS-2 gets its bonus accuracy, bonus weapon range, turret rotation. And the Panther these days just gets 10% armor and turret rotation. It's just much worse. Used to get a much larger armor bonus. So I feel like these days the IS-2 is actually a pretty good option, because the Panther just doesn't scale as well as it used to. Skill plane's called in once again. And I have basically no option here. Can't retreat. Any squads that retreat just get bopped by the tanks in my base. So I'm just having to grin and bear it. Managed to recrew my pack. Luckily, another strength of the Ostroopers is being able to recrew team weapons, which is something I typically struggle with. So I managed to recrew my pack here. It's a couple shots and forces IS-2 back a little bit. Really want to stop him from stealing away my machine gun here. Do have the machine gun upgrade on my Panther. Striggy's been forcing away squads. And do manage to decrew. I feel like he maybe could have been a little bit more aggressive with the IS-2, but perhaps he's worried about my Panther or something, I'm not sure. He's been very passive with it considering how much health it has, especially now. But coming up in support. Striggy's there as well, but yeah, that was a pretty devastating push. I lost my mid bunker. The base is very exposed right now. Yeah, made a couple of late retreats, and the retreat paths were quite favourable for me.
One of our machine guns has been silenced.
Yeah, there we go. Panther goes down. Just leaving around a little bit too long. Double his tank guns. Clean it up.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
At this stage I go for a second pack myself, because IS-2 is really causing me a lot of headaches, and especially now that my Panther's dead, I'm in big trouble.
We have lost a machine gun crew.
Trying to repair up my Panther. His army is extremely low, but my supply is also quite low. Especially my large army of infantry and whatnot versus his IS-2. So he gets engine damage here. Double packs. Try and knock him out. Calls on the planes once more though. Just clear out one of my packs. He does a nice maneuver there. I've set up in this direction expecting him to continue chasing forwards. Pack only just knocks out his IS-2. Striggy manages to clean up the T-70 as well. That was really lucky for me, honestly. At this stage I'm like, shit, I just need to get in this damn Panther. As soon as the suppression wears off, I'm just going to sacrifice a squad to get in it. Try and back it away before his packs move in and try and knock it out. Fortunately, by recrewing it, kind of reveals its position as it shoots at all of these planes. Need to keep my Striggy in here to stop this from going down to NTRS.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
It's moving up his double packs. He's doing its best to try and force away the infantry, try to get rid of anything that would be providing sights. Panther, I think can survive one shot here. And this knocks out the Striggy. And there goes the Panther. Manages also to recrew think one of no, neither of these packs went down. But I think he managed to steal away a machine gun in the midst of all this chaos. So, you know, I've managed to keep a decent army size. You see I've got a pretty large infantry army despite all those planes coming through and causing a lot of damage. Haven't turned over too many team weapons. Got the double packs, so my anti-armor is okay. But he actually builds a T-70 here, which was very curious timing. He was very close to another IS-2 if he didn't build this T-70. Maybe he thought he could just straight out maneuver my anti-tank guns and just kill me here. But that's not the case. Two anti-tank guns, I can fight them off quite effectively, as long as they're not right on top of each other. Expecting him to try to come out this side of my base, I bring my pack over as quickly as I can. Set it up. And the T-70 gets away. So I think if I had knocked out the T-70 right there, that would be game for me. I think I would have won it, honestly. At this stage, I was like, hell no. I need to hold on to my territory here. Call in this just to try and buy myself a bit of breathing room. Some nice shot on those conscripts. He brings in some more conscripts to the danger zone. Fortunately, the squad manages to make it clear into the VP circle, which is not connected territory. I think maybe I cast on this. There's one of the strengths of sector artillery, is that if you cast on something like a cutoff, because it's a cutoff, it's touching a lot of territory sectors. So you can get this effect on just so many sectors if you cast it on a cutoff. It's really strong in that regard. So yeah, I brought a lot of my squads out on low health because my bunker had died. So just then I rebuilt my mid bunker. My Panzer unit is behind to heal up. But yeah, my squads are quite low health now, so they are quite prone to bleed. And I have a little bit strapped for manpower, even though I've had the fuel required for Panther for quite some time. Haven't quite been able to afford the manpower. Already has enough for another IL-2. So I really want to build a teller here. Just what I was trying to do with my pioneers. This is like a pretty common area for tank traffic. It doesn't often get swept, and he doesn't have any sweepers, so I feel like a teller here is really strong, but it's not going to happen. IS-2 now going for a base inspection. Finds my freshly built bunker. Double packs rotating, but once again I have to be careful with this kind of rotation. Need to make sure I bring a machine gun just in case any squads come in from the angles and try to knock out my packs in response. Yeah, there goes my bunker. That requires a much larger rotation. Need my second pack over here for when I hope to defend this. See, in comes the infantry. My machine gun rotated and helping prevent this. T-70 in a tough spot. Here comes my second pack. Just getting outmaneuvered though. P-Greens once again on top of my support weapons, preventing the flanks from being too impactful. And come the planes though. Got my squads on top of these packs because I've got the Panther coming in, and I want the packs to be well clear of my Panther. Well, pack is this. To be well clear of my Panther when it hits the field, so I can try use my Panther to knock out this IS-2. So that's why I'm desperately trying to chase them down here. hear that my Panther's complete now.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
So this is typically like a really bad spot for your anti-tank gun positioning. Because you're on the road a little bit quicker and still in the danger zone from the strafes, so quite prone to getting decrewed here. So bounce, I'm like, oh come on, just die, because income is packs. And they both penetrate my Panther. I'm just getting hammered by his vetted up anti-tank guns. And he's also stolen my one that got decrewed over here before. So my Panther very nearly goes down there. End up losing a squad of Ostroupen, maybe 2 squads of Pioneers as well, and amongst all that chaos. Briefly was building a bunker there, but I was like, oh, I definitely need repairs over a bunker right now for healing, so... I'm actually knocking out my healing bunker is causing me a lot of headaches, as you can see, a lot of low health squads. This is a real drama, and so I feel like it's so hard for me to counter this, you know. It just drops the planes in, and then all my infantry just struggles, and then the IS-2 just runs amok. But luckily I've taken down 2 IS-2s now, so I have the armor advantage at least, but now he's got the infantry advantage. Well, kind of. He's got 4 anti-tank guns, so if he ever does get another IS-2, he's just going to be able to force away my Panther very easily. So me being able to fight the IS-2 is going to be very tough. By the time he has enough for the IS-2, I won't have enough for enough anti-tank guns or defenses to deal with it, so I'm very cognizant right now of the VPs. He's quite low on VPs, so I'm like, oh, if I just try to focus on the VPs a little bit here, I can drain him out before maybe he can save up for another IS-2. Is my hope, at least. Because he's got 4 anti-tank guns, this is just, you just can't get the Brumbier at this stage. Maybe if you already had a Brumbier and you had access to its bunker busting barrage ability, where you can shoot at them from longer range, you could fight this many packs effectively, but not with Vet Zero Brumbier. It's just not going to happen. One thing about Ostroupen to note is they did get nerfed. They can't pick up multiple weapons. That's what I tried to do there. Tried to pick up the flamethrower on them, but cannot pick it up. So we need to send something else over here. He's actually gone for another T-70 once again. He thinks he can inflict a lot of bleed on me here with the T-70. We do have the Panther. It's finally back up to full, ready to fight. But these 4 anti-tank guns got to be careful. Similarly though, he's, you know, got to make sure his anti-tank guns are in position to fire at my Panther. So they probably should be a little bit further forwards, closer to his machine gun here. So if my Panther does shoot his T-70, I take like 2 or 3 shots at least. My Panther. So I go try and recruit on this Vet Zero squad of Pioneers, because it's a common issue with Pioneers trying to vet them up. You don't get the flamethrower. So hopefully now I feel like I can vet them up, because they've got the flamethrower. They'll actually be able to do some damage. Get vetted up quickly and actually repair my stuff. There's plenty few mines on this flank, so that is something to be cautious of. Which is why I've gone for the sweepers. He has planted a few mines this game. Machine gun doing some really good damage. Decrews one of his anti-tank guns. I see all these units just being clumped together. I'm like, damn, I need a Werfer really bad. Werfers though are quite expensive. 360 odd manpower. So, you know, having to rebuild my bunker and just the rebuilding my pioneers as well
Enemy forces
has
capturing supply sector.
cost me enough that it's slowed down my Wurfer by quite a lot. But at this stage I am quite scared
This territory is ours.
that if I do go for the Wurfer I will be hunted down by a T-70 and killed. So at this stage, if I had more munitions, mines would be number one
The sector is at
on
risk.
the agenda. Probably a telemine around here somewhere, or maybe around here. Since he's shown so much interest in coming down this flank of my base. Oh, I do have one. Didn't even notice that. So yeah, I've already thought about it. Maybe I built it with that squad as they came out. But yeah, there's something you need to think about. Whether or not your Wurf is going to get chased down. And I was really worried about it. So other spots, good spots around here and around here. High traffic areas that perhaps will get chased down. So the goal here is to use my Panther now as bait. Try get the anti-tank guns in position to fire at it, and then the Wurfer to be close by for a barrage and try and knock them all out.
Supply sector under attack.
Easier said than done though. These are 6 men anti-tank guns. So I decided to go for the machine gun and annihilate it there. That was a really close range barrage on the same screen. It's the wipe. I was a little bit lucky as well with that wipe. So I'm pretty happy about that. First barrage on my Wurfer. So he's clearly obviously very focused on the VPs as well, covering this one with the machine gun. Putting a lot of pressure on the VPs as well. And comes another strafe. And it's the last thing I want to see. Got all his anti-tank guns moving in unison. And now has a lot of resources to spare. Probably should get one more machine gun since he just lost that last one. Should be good against me try and cap the VPs if he gets another machine gun. He has enough to spare. Size 2 doesn't cost that much. At this stage now I probably need another anti-tank gun because once he has 2 hits I'll be in a bit of trouble.
Enemy has only 200 points.
And anti-tank gun would be the right choice. I go for a Wurfer on this, kind of a longer range Wurfer. Still doing some good damage, decrowing 2 of them. Once you get a hit like that, you really need to come over here and either steal or destroy them. So that's what I'm mobilizing to try and do now. Hopefully his IS-2's kind of getting distracted. I'm sending my sweepers over here because I was running over a few mines, but he brings his T-70 up to try and defend the decrewed anti-tank guns. There's also those anti-tank guns up here to try and fight my Panther. So I managed to crew 1, but not for long. T-70's right there. Panther fighting the IS-2 effectively, but I did get a telemine down on the spot. It's going to be very effective, or important in this engagement. So Panther evade, bob and weave. Trying to send my pioneers over here to maybe steal one of these anti-tank guns again. IS-2 staying aggressive, even though it's losing this engagement. I've been getting better RNG from the hits so far. There we go, hits the telemine, goes down. And that is basically the game. We just got way too aggressive with that last IS-2 there. I got, you know, some good wipes with my Wurfer. Now I want to kill this, but I side against it, you know, I know he's got 2 anti-tank guns right here. It's not worth losing my Panther to try kill a T-70. Go for another Panther, perhaps a bit of overkill, but I still don't really want a Brumbier because it just kind of, you know, it can't like drive around behind and use its machine. Well, it could, I suppose, but it's not. Yeah, it's not very mobile, so it's kind of like a little bit of a sitting duck. This many anti-tank guns. I think I'm targeting this, knowing that he's in the capping circle there. Gets some okay kills. 16 kills and 3 shots, pretty good. I'm over a mine here with my fresh Panther, so that's no good. Managed to decrew one of these anti-tank guns though. My other Panther's also waiting repairs though, so can't really be too aggressive. Probably should bring my machine gun up, but that also would just get cut down by the T-70 frontally. So focus on the one with damaged engine first. Bring this one slightly damaged over here despite the perils of just going down to his masses of anti-tank guns. I don't really want to use it, so as long as this isn't doing too much damage, I'm not going to risk it. So at this stage you really should be spamming any type of unit. Looks like he's chosen T-70s, but he just needs more squads as well. Maybe more combat engineers, another machine gun. Even just something with a snare as well would be really helpful against my Panthers, but maybe it's too late for that. Come over here expecting machine gun, but no machine gun, so doors open there. For ready to fire, so it's going to be it. Next engagement. Once the anti-tank guns reveal themselves, they're going to get woofed. Not sure what he's doing with his anti-tank guns here. It's like Miss Micro calling in the planes once again though. Holding the line here, trying to clear out these anti-tank guns, and both of them go down. That means door is open. Panthers can charge in. This one in the middle goes after this T-70. And there it goes. The other one on the flank, quite damaged. He calls it quits there. So yeah, nice back and forth game there, I think. Got to see some strategies. Hopefully you get to see a little bit of defensive options. I didn't really use like that many things from this commander, I guess. Like, I suppose the most notable was the Ostruben. Obviously me getting the Striggy, as I mentioned, was a bit of a mistake. And as I talked about the timings of it, just if it's a close game or a really hard fought game, you might want to consider getting 2 of them and just delaying your tick to battle phase 3. But yeah, also this is quite important, being able to build sandbags and whatnot with your Ostruben is very helpful as well. Didn't use the Pack 43. I don't know, would it have been that useful? Maybe. Did use this though, and it actually worked okay against him. Yeah, you know, a few of his conscript models and stuff went down. He had to retreat his sniper and whatnot. So definitely this is a hard to use ability, but its strength is like pretty reasonable. But yeah, that's the general strategy. Go for like fast light vehicles with 3 Ostruben into fast battle phase 3 with LMGs on your Ostruben, and then getting out those tier 4 units to back it up. Well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you'd like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.